Let's see who shows up this time. I'm not upset. I'm still upset, but not upset enough that I can't at least have a decent live feed. Now I'm in the mood to do a live feed. So Wallaby, if you come back on, I apologize. Just not in a typical. Oh, guys. Yeah, Fire Canopy is shot. It picked that canopy up and twisted it and threw it. It hit my garden window. I'm lucky it didn't break the window. I just got an approved offer on a house. Oh, it's a twisted pile of crap, and then I had to twist it up a little bit more and drag it through. But I will tell you guys that I'm still upset. I mean, I can't sharpen in the house. I just can't. It makes too much of a mess. If you guys, like people are like, oh, just sharpen in your sink. No. Those water stones make a god-awful mess. I'm up to my elbows in that slurry and slime, and it gets everywhere. And no matter how much you clean, you can't get it off. And I can't do that in my wife's kitchen. I mean, happy wife, happy life for most people. In my case, happy wife, and the cops don't have to start an investigation. That's just what it is. So, but guys, I would like to remind you guys that today starts I gotta put this, give me just a moment. I gotta put this on Do Not Disturb. I'm already getting messages. Today starts the Olight Valentine's Day sale. And so I'm going to run a risk and say that they sent me some cool stuff. We'll just say, leave that. And so if you guys need a good flashlight, they've got a lot of stuff on sale. That little light for the Pew Pew is definitely on sale. I think that's like an $89 flashlight. They have a package deal where you can get, they don't have the brass ones, I don't think. I don't think they have the brass i5T, which I love this thing. It has eclipsed all the other little flashlights that I have. Like I had some Streamlights here to do a comparison, and the Streamlights are, I kind of think I like this one better, even better than the expensive Streamlights. So it's, I bought my sister a thing of coffee, the little coffee, the K-Cups. I really like the Cafe Bustelo, and they have the Cafe Bustelo con leche, Cafe con leche. She hadn't got to try it, so I got her some. It's really, really good. Oh, now the sun comes out. Oh, now you're going to be sunny and like, hey, guess what you could do right now? You could go sharpen. I am going to try and do some, I can't do it when it's windy like this, guys. Like, no joke, if you saw the last live feed, that canopy was tied down. It was tied down with 550 cord. It blew the entire canvas off except for like 2 little pieces of Velcro. It's just shredded. And then I think I have to go out and get that still. No, I brought it in. It's just shredded. And it literally, because it was tied down, it twisted the entire canopy. And I don't know if it got twisted when it crashed, and I don't know what ripped, but it lifted that entire canopy out of my yard, up over a 6-foot fence, and into the cul-de-sac. And it was a good 8 feet away from the fence. So it was airborne for a little bit before it decided to slam to the ground. So I'm pretty sure that my drop light is ruined. It looks twisted. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a chance to see if I can't straighten it out. Of the big scope of things, the light was the cheapest part that got ruined. We've had high wind warnings, and so that's why the canopy was tied down. And I mean, if you look, you can still see. No, I'm not gonna go back out there. It's cold, windy. I'm not going out there. But the whole thing about the sharpening is if it's that windy, I can't sharpen. Too much stuff blows around. It's just a mess. It gets in the water, it gets on the stones, and then it's not as good a final product. I would just rather wait. So yeah, it's crappy out there. So that's what always happens with me. One good thing happens, and then like 8 bad things happen. I got a seatbelt that doesn't work in a Volkswagen. So we get an accepted offer on a house. Great. That's great. Good news. Seatbelt in Volkswagen stops working. It's going to cost me $800 to fix it. It won't even, you can't even pull the seatbelt. So now no one can ride in the passenger seat, front seat of my Volkswagen. And I'm like, that's okay. The, I'm like, the royalty check from the sea snake is coming. A couple other things go wrong. And then I get my royalty check from the sea snake. And it's like, yay, I got my royalty check. And I check it. And it's nowhere near what we were expecting. So they're trying to figure out what happened. Like, are there vendors that haven't paid for the items yet? Guys, we're talking, for as well as that knife sold, we're talking, I'm not going to get into details, but it's nowhere near what we were expecting. Me or the US rep. So there's that. So there's another shitty thing. And then the light in the one bedroom stopped working. My internet's not working for crap. I'm on data. And then I get up this morning and I'm like, oh, maybe it'll be a good day. Maybe I can get some sharpening done. Doesn't seem like it's that windy. It was just kind of sprinkling. That's when it started to hail. And then I went back in the bedroom. I was like, okay, I can't do anything. And I was like, just going to get clothes out and ready for when I get ready to go somewhere here a little bit later. And then I hear this, the wind just like buffets the house. And I go out and my canopy's gone. So welcome to my life. Like I said, I try not to get upset. Like, I apologize to anybody that I might have been short with in the live feed, but asking me about a stone that's on my workbench when the $130 canopy that I use to protect all the items that are in that workbench has just gotten destroyed, it's probably not going to get you a good response at that time. And I know that they probably did not know, but hey, cheers. I'm having another cup of coffee. I've been limiting my caffeine intake because I know that I can be a maniac at times. And I'm having a problem with my Keurig. Like, when I open it, it catches the cup and pulls it out, and it gets at an angle where I have a hard time getting it back out. Let's just do just that then. Oh man, I'm almost out of those. These are really good. Man. I think my wife was right. There's a thing in Japan that says that, like, certain houses can affect your luck. I've had bad luck, but I'm just saying it's definitely worse since we've been in this house, and even much worse since we bought it. Like, we had a house in Yokosuka, and everything, we this is outside of, just right outside of the base there in northern Japan. And it was a nice place, and we rented it, and we had bad luck, we had bad neighbors, we had, the wife made friends and then bad things. It was always just bad. And so we moved out of that house, and we moved into housing. Everything seems so much better. I'm hoping that this move is going to change our luck. I don't put a lot in, like, I don't put a lot of stock into things like that, but I'm not gonna lie, our luck has definitely gotten worse living here. But good news for you guys. February, we're doing a giveaway of a feldspar. Yeah, I found it. I had misplaced it. That's why I didn't do a giveaway for January. I know, and here's the thing though, you can say that I'm a tough person, but the fact is, I'm just kind of tired of it. I'm tired of everything just going to I'm tired of having that reverse Midas touch, where everything I do just kind of goes to shit. So I have to call the realtor. You get it. Yeah, I know, I'm just saying, like, I've weathered some storms in my time, and I'm kind of getting tired of it. Like, your luck will change. You can fucking win. I'm tired of hearing your luck will change. Because I don't put a lot in luck. I put stock in me being able to do things. But you know what? Sometimes you got to think to yourself, I'm not doing anything any different than I was 2 years ago. And I'm making significantly less income. The knife sharpening? I mean, I've got stuff here, but it's just because I haven't been able to do any sharpening lately because busy with trying to sell the house, busy with trying to convert this business to a DVBE, busy with cleaning the house so I could sell it and then, get the house sold. But like, I mean, I've got maybe a full day's worth of work. Like if I just take a day and sharpen from I've got maybe a day's worth of work. It's not a good look, when you run a small business and that's your entire business. And I'm not saying like, if you guys contact me right now, I'm gonna tell you I can't do it because we're going into escrow on this house. There's gonna be a delay on all that stuff. That stuff that's there, if this weather doesn't change, I mean, I might have to bite the bullet and just get screamed at, but that limits the time. I mean, I can't sharpen right now. I would, I've got to clean that mess up and to even get to the stuff that I need. But that limits me because I can't sharpen in the morning because my wife's here. I have a 3-hour window that I can sharpen during the day and like a 2-hour window in the afternoon that I can sharpen because the wife is at work for like 3 hours and then they go skating for 2 hours. I can't feasibly do it. My wife needs this kitchen. And if any of you guys know anything about Japanese culture, and it's another reason for why the kitchen is just basically a place that I can't use. Japanese culture, Japanese women stay in the kitchen. And it's not like I tell my wife, like, you got the kitchen and you guys see my bedroom. My bedroom's my man cave. I play video games in there, I watch TV, I mess around on my computer. I've got all my medieval armory, all my actual Japanese swords. That's where I keep my guns. That's where I've got stuff mounted on the wall that's cool stuff. And I have my that's my space basically. Because my wife only uses that room to come to bed. My daughter uses the living room. Guys, you're never gonna believe what I just did. I made a cup of hot water. Made a cup of hot water. So I mean, my kid does school at home. That's her classroom. She sits at that coffee table. We got her a chair. That's where she puts her computer. That's where she does her schoolwork. She's got her light. I can't use the living room. So the kitchen is my wife's room. That's it. I mean, she uses the kitchen. My wife will be in this kitchen all day on days that she's off. She will sit out here. She gets her sewing machine. She puts it on a kitchen table. She makes masks. She makes stuff like that. No, I'm having coffee. Tea, actually, when brewed properly, has more caffeine than coffee does, depending on the type of tea. There we go. Depending on tea, green tea, the way I brew green tea, because I like it a little stronger, it actually gives you more caffeine. And another misconception about coffee, espresso. Espresso actually has less caffeine than brewed coffee. Brewed coffee has less caffeine than percolated coffee. It has to do with the amount of time that the hot water is in contact with the coffee grounds. So yeah, now here's the big thing. I got to figure out what I'm going to do because I still have the old canopy, the big 10x10. I got that 8x8 Easy Up and it's sturdy. It's sturdy. And the fact that it's all twisted, I hate the fact that that light might be busted. That light is so nice to have that drop light. Well, as my father would say, poop occurs. I mean, I've got a limited number of knives here that I need to sharpen. And the guy that has the fixed blades here has told me specifically he's not in a rush because I was thinking about shooting a video because this SOG Forge knife that he sent me is great. I don't have a new place. Okay, I'm gonna explain it again. And I'm trying not to be short-tempered, Mr. Morgan. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure I've explained this before. We go into escrow. We sold this place on a contingent sale, which means I have up to 6 months that I can rent this property from the new owners to find a new property. I don't have a new property in place. I'm not buying a house. I am going to rent because right now it doesn't make sense to buy a house. The market is too high. I'll wait the market out for a couple years. When houses are low and it's a buyer's market, not a seller's market, and I have a VA loan, so I don't have to put any money down. So basically, the money we make from this house is all profit. It's all profit. So I don't know. No, we showed the place to one family on Saturday, and they really liked it. I got to meet them. They're really nice. They're really, really nice. I hope that they like this place. They're moving in with family, so they're gonna have, their parents with them, one of the parents with them, and this place would be great for that because the upstairs bedrooms are not small. I mean, my office is the smallest one, and it's not even a small bedroom. My office is about the size of the bedroom I had growing up as a kid, which was a fairly decent sized bedroom. My daughter's bedroom's even larger. And then the master bedroom downstairs is huge. The master bedroom in this house is larger than the living room at the place we lived in Chula Vista. Like, no joke. It's bigger than the living room. Zach, I was just talking about it. You missed the whole, here, let me flip this around and I'll show you, Zach. There's even going to be a longer delay on your knives. I actually was going to try and start on them like today if the wind let up, but let me show you what happened since your knives, you know that canopy that usually is there? Yeah, it wound up clear outside the fence. Clear outside the fence. Clear out in the cul-de-sac. It lifted that, and so you guys can see, like I said, I wasn't joking. That canopy was tied down. You can see where it yanked the stuff. It actually ripped the anchor. So you guys remember there was an anchor there. Let me see if there was an anchor over there. It ripped the anchor that I had it tied to out. It broke that. It yanked the spike that was holding it over in that corner clear out. And this corner, oh yeah. Yeah, you can see it was tied to this. It was tied to this and it completely yanked that. Oh, actually it broke. There's a piece missing. It looks like it broke that. There was a piece of PVC pipe. And I thought, the windiest it's ever been. The old canopy got ruined, not because of wind. It got ruined because there was just so much. It rained so hard that the rain came down and collapsed the canopy. So, yeah, that was unexpected this morning. Like, I heard it happen. And I knew something was up because the dog moved. And the dog was like, "Oh, what was that?" And the whole house, it blew hard enough that the house like shift. You could hear the house like shake. I was like, "Holy crap." And then I heard noise. I didn't think anything of it. I came into the kitchen and I walked through and I walked by. It's one of those deals you're walking by, you're like, "Dude, where's my canopy?" I know, I just feel bad. But I have other people's stuff here who might not be as forgiving. But things happen. As I said, poop occurs. Where's my spoon? There's something afloating in my kufi. Not a kufi, my coffee. There's a lot of you guys who aren't going to get that reference. I went to a lot of schools about domestic terrorism and indoctrination and radicalization and things like that, and how it works and where it happens and why it happens in prisons. And a lot of times it's just because you get more privileges. You can have things in your cell based on certain religious preferences, and one of them being that Muslims have to have a lot of things to go along with that religion, and one of them is that they have headwear that other people aren't allowed to have, and they can wear it because the kufi, which is the hat, is one of those things that they're allowed to have. And so it just gives them some extra privileges. And that's how it starts. That's one of the things. I'm not saying that, like, if anyone's a Muslim, I actually, surprisingly, people will laugh. I've got a good bit of Muslim friends. There's first generation Somali refugees, and some of them are some of the great. I know a guy that works. You want to talk about somebody that's chasing that American dream? So I have a friend named Mohammed. He is no, this is leaded. He owns a taxi, and he got his medallion, and so now they own two cars. Him and his brother, they basically run their own taxi service. They own the taxi. They have the thing, and they those guys, those two, work probably 18, 19 hours a day. Like that's all they do. They work. They are some of the hardest working people. They've made a life for themselves. They've made a living. They actually do fairly well. They used to live just down the hill from here, and now they moved to North County, but it was so far for them to get the areas where they were getting the level of rides and things like that they needed running a taxi, that they moved back down here closer to downtown. So I get to see him more often. And Muhammad's thing is like I don't know if I should do this, in fact, but he loves. There's some things that he really loves, and every once in a while, when he has a little bit of time, he'll give me a call, and I'm like, "What's up, Mo?" He's like, "Just seeing if you're busy," and he asked if he can come over. I'm like, "Yeah," and we'll talk. And I was like, "You want a sandwich, don't you?" He goes, "Yes." Loves bacon sandwiches. And as he's eating it, he looks at me and goes, "I understand why it's a sin." I was like, "You want a beer to go with that? I mean, you may as well. You're already breaking the rules." So I informed him that he can drink mead, because mead is not a fermentation of wheat or corn. It is a fermentation of honey. And so he can actually drink that. He can't drink grape. He can't drink grapes. He can't drink fermentation of grapes or wheat. That's like the grain or grapes. That's how it's written, but it doesn't say anything about honey. What was this? Somebody asked me, since you were in the Navy, what's your opinion on joining the Navy when you're 28 and don't have a wife or kids? That would be, I mean, if you were going to join that late, just keep in mind, if you're trying to go for officers programs, there's requirements on that. I think you have to be able to complete everything for officer programs by your 32nd birthday. And the other thing too is I would never discourage you if that's what you want to do. But going in as you're older, it's going to be taxing. I went in when I was 17. And by the time I retired 18 years later, medically retired, I was run the fuck down. But it also depends on what you do. There's a lot of just like administrative jobs and things like that. I mean, there's jobs in the Navy that are cake. There's photographers and things like that. But I mean, the overall physical requirements of the Navy aren't what's so taxing. It's whatever assignments and duties you decide to take. Like I spent a lot of time down range. I spent a lot of time doing a lot of stuff. I was a gunner's mate. That's 5-inch Pro Joe, weighs 70 pounds. You got to figure there's thousands of those on board a ship. There's literally 2,000 to 3,000 of those on a ship. The only way that they get in their bins is you physically put them there by hand. You stack every one of those rounds, Filling the forward magazine, that's 600 rounds of 70-pound projectiles. Do the math. You do that in a day. You fill that magazine in a day. Like, it's just a line of guys handing that round. There's no easier way to do it, because it has to be stacked by hand, because if you don't stack it properly by hand, you're not going to fit everything that's supposed to go in the bins. They have to go in a specific order, and if it's not lining up, you got to take them all back out. You got to put the battens in. You build those bins as you're filling them with these aluminum battens that go in slots. I mean, it just depends on what job you take, what you're going to do. So, yeah. People are like, oh, girls can't do that job. That's the other thing, too. That's true. If you're 20, 26 years old, you've been out on your own probably for a while. You've been doing a lot of your own thinking. And to go in and have to basically do exactly what you're told, exactly when you're told, exactly how you're told, without question. Because you don't get paid enough to think. Like, oh, Chief, I was thinking. Who fucking told you you could do that? I haven't given you permission to do that yet. Dude. We used to race. We used to race who could load mags the fastest. So, I mean, there's a big chunk of that first few years that you're in the Navy. You don't get to think. You have no input. You have no, unless you're asked, like, okay. I think Sis has seen me do it. I can push my thumb through a soda can. I can like punch my thumb through it. Pretty sure she's seen me do it. Beer can, like a sealed beer can, punch my thumb through it. Oh, I don't know if I can now. I used to be able to. My hands were strong enough. I used to be able to just like punch my thumb through a soda can or through a beer can. There's a lot of those aspects of just being able to say, okay, I don't get to think. Now, if you say you come out of boot camp and then you go to an A school and then you have a secondary school called a C school, Marines call it an MOS. You're technically the subject matter expert on that. And you would be like, so I was a 5-inch guy. I went to 5-inch school, the C school in San Diego. When I got to that ship, I was the lead technician. One, because I was the senior guy, but I had junior guys. I had guys that were in their 20s that had been to the same school. No, but I have been able to at times in my life put on a pair of gloves and break a beer bottle. My hands aren't that strong anymore. I'm not turning wrenches daily, but like when I was turning wrenches every day and you know, we're talking big bolts. These are 15/16 bolts. I twisted the head off a 15/16 bolt, almost an inch. But at any rate, no, it's just, it just depends on the job and duties and things like that and your mental attitude going into it. Like I loved the Navy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I loved the Navy. But I didn't always love the Navy. You know what I mean? It's just one of those, you got to kind of, you know, I didn't always love the Navy, but I loved being in the Navy. It's just, you know. Probably looks like one of those, what are we talking about? I don't know what I have no idea what we're talking about there in New York. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, this is the best super glue I've used for being able to like not get it all over everything and not have it set up too quick. I love this, the Gorilla super glue, the gel especially. I just hope that it doesn't up and dry up on me like it has in the past. That's the problem. You can only get it, like it only comes in this size. And then by the time I get ready to use it the third time, the whole tube is like, I'm like, God bless. How'd that even happen? So, well, guys, it's been 30 minutes. I suppose that I went out and I gathered up all the stuff that had to come in. I was like, oh, I got to bring all that stuff in, all the stones and all that stuff. And I'm like, you know what, though? Those stones don't need to come in. Those stones are always in water. I'm like, I don't need to bring that stuff in. So I did bring in what needed to come in. I brought in my strops. I brought in my, basically I just brought in my strops. And I brought in the carbide that I use for flattening the stones on that glass top. And if, like I said, if the weather dies down, I can still go out there. I just got to wear a hat. But it's just been consistently shitty for like a couple weeks. Guys, I will put a link. I'm going to, in the community tab, put a link to the lights. This is a really cool light. I'll take the whole thing off and show you. it's just a rail mount, but the flip side of it is also this is adjustable. A lot of the other lights are not adjustable, like how far you can go. So you're stuck with where it goes on your rails. This Pew Pew has 3 slots. So if this was locked on, I would be limited to one, and then I don't know how far, how far I would have to reach. This is nice because I can put it on the rail where I want it, then slide this all the way back to the trigger guard. Magnetic charger, comes with both the Glock mount and the 1913, which is your Picatinny rail. 1913 rail is Picatinny rail. And then you just lock the whole thing on when you get it where you want, and then ambidextrous switches, left or right. Shine that right in. I shine that right in my eye. 600 lumens right to the left eye. I'm blind. But no, it's really great. It comes with a little charger dongle that has a light on it that's green or red. It's green as long as it's plugged in. You click it on here. If it needs charged, it turns red and stays red until the whole thing is completely charged. This is possibly the coolest little tactical light I've ever seen. Never was a fan of putting a light on a handgun, but so my sister has a cat, new cat. The dog brought it in. The cat was deaf. The cat is deaf. But apparently he was abused and he never got to be a cat. Now he gets to be a cat and he's into everything. Yesterday, she sent me a video of the cat with its head stuck in the top of a donut box. You know, you got the donut box with the saran wrap. The Boss Heat Treat. I mean, a good heat treat's a good heat treat. I haven't found any one heat company that's heat treat is better than another, but I will say that the Boss Heat Treat is, are you talking Boss or the Bose? The BOS heat treat, not Boss. If you're talking about the Boss Heat Treat, the BOS, the Bose Heat Treat, BOS, Mick Strider used to use it. That heat treat, yeah, Bose Heat Treat is the most consistent heat treat I've seen. Like, I haven't ever had one that was bad. Is it better than other heat treats? On some steels, yes. On some steels, he gets a really, really good, ATS 34 is a good example. The Bose Heat Treat on ATS 34 was well above what I was seeing on other knives. Knives that had that mark, the BOS Heat Treat, with the little, it says BOS and it has like the little flames or something on it. That heat treat protocol that he used on that was probably about the best widely distributed ATS 34 heat treat I'd seen. So, but I mean, different heat treats, you can do one steel in several different heat treats for different uses. You want more impact resistance, you just kind of modify your heat treat. I gotta put this light back on here. That would make sense. I know that Buck did use Bose Heat Treat a lot. Especially back, I don't know if you remember, before Mick Strider made his own knives, he had his knives made by Buck. Like, he designed for Buck. There was several Strider Bucks, and I've had a couple of them come in. I've gotten to see a couple of them. They're rare. There weren't a lot of them, but they were really, really well done knives, and they had the Bose Heat Treat. The thing you got to remember too is just because you can heat treat something to 64 Rockwell doesn't mean that's its optimal. Knock it off, Cayenne. Stop. Stop. There is nothing on your foot. She's just laying there licking her foot. Come here. Come here, take your medicine. That dog, I don't know what her problem is. She will lay there and lick her feet until they're raw. She'll just like lick the hair off her feet. We don't know why she does it. There's nothing wrong. It's not like she has a hot spot. It's got to just be a nervous, it's got to be a nervous thing, but she will literally, if you don't stop her, she will lick the hair and have a just bare raw skin on the top of her foot and just lick it raw for no real good reason. Sit. Chin up. Open. Good girl. Good girl. I don't know what you got to be nervous about. Everybody loves you. What, Olite? Yeah, the Olite. So I'm gonna make sure there's a link, but if you can't, I did the Olite video. The sale started today, that flash sale that I was talking about. So you can go to that. I put a link in the Olite video that I did the other day about the flash sale. It's in the description. Holy crap. Something just, it's windy enough out. You guys can't hear it because this kitchen is on the leeward side where the wind doesn't blow as much. Something just hit my house somewhere. I heard it hit hard. Just hope nothing gets broke. Nothing gets broke before these people move in. I don't want to have to fix something. But 20 CV for 20 CV, well, actually for LMAX too. Elliot did a heat treat that's just insane. I've got some. No, I will not make custom scales. I'm not a scale maker. If you want custom scales for a sea snake, talk to Cerberus Knives. The thing with making handles is time consuming. And for you to make you a set of handles, you're looking at putting a set of $200 to $300 handles, easy $200 to $300 handles. If it only takes me a little bit to make a set, you're looking at $200, $300, $400 for me to make you a set of handles for a knife. Because I do them all by hand. Get a hold of Cerberus Knives, Chris over at Cerberus Knives. I would love to be able to make that kind of money, but the fact is, when you look at, I spend so much time making a set of scales. Like, this is a set of Kevlar scales, hand contoured, hand sanded, pinned to it, torched for color. It took me literally an 8-hour day to make these, get them the way I wanted. And then I had to pay Nico to clear coat them for me because the Kevlar is not, it wants to just come unbound and come apart. So for me to make a set of scales, that's a full day. That's a full 8-hour day, sometimes longer, to get a set of scales made up, make sure they're the same, make them all the right, get them cut out, get them the way I want, get the polish and the color on them. Make sure they marry up, make sure there's no gaps. So by the time that's all done, it makes it prohibitively expensive, especially considering you're wanting to put them on a $40 knife. Oh, so many. The thing too is that Kevlar has wire in it. And I think I posted up pictures. I'd be grinding those scales. And I just made another set of these for a sea snake, or not a sea snake, a habu for Matthew that's in progress. It slings that wire off the grinder and it embeds it in your hand. You got to go back through when you're done. After you've shaped them, you got to go through and pull all those little wires out of your hand. I'm done with you. Go lay down. Don't look at me like that. What? Don't look at me like that. I didn't do anything to you. I gave you your medicine. Why are you still here? I'm done with you. Fuck off over there. I'm kidding. What was that? I missed a... It's the exact same thing. It's Thunderstorm. Yeah, it's Thunderstorm Kevlar. Here, let's see if I can get a good... I got some light here. Let's get this turned around. Maybe I can show you. I haven't done it yet. I haven't used it yet. So you can see the wire, the copper wire that's in it. It's called Thunderstorm Kevlar. But the thing is, it's not like carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is at least tightly bound. That stuff's really loosely bound, and grinding it gets all powdery, and it's like using, imagine compressed fiberglass insulation. That's what it's like. I don't think it feels any different. So, but yeah, me making a set of handles just isn't gonna happen. I'm not a handle maker, I'm a knife maker. What? Seriously, go lay down. Kind of go to your mat. Go lay down. I think she wants to go out again. It was crappy when I took her out, and so our walk was an abridged version. So I think I'm gonna need to take her out again here in a minute. So I think my dog is broken. Instructions unclear. The cat is in the microwave. I don't know what's going on. Yes or no would have worked what? I don't. Oh, I don't. I haven't really felt the Terracraft. I mean, honestly, I don't feel like, I know that Jake has made some knives in it. I don't think I even really felt that knife. Like I had it. They showed it to me. I haven't even felt it. So I honestly, I don't know, because I've never worked with it. I've never made handles out of it. I've never really felt a set of handles in it. I may have and just don't know. So I don't know. Jake Ginsburg uses it and he has some knives in it, but I didn't feel it. Like I took a video of it, but I don't think I ever had it in hand. So I don't have a point of reference. Sorry. I know a yes or no would have worked, but I just don't have a yes or no to that. I have a, sometimes that's what you get. I may have seen Terracraft. I'm thinking to myself, if that was something I saw on the last day of Blade Show West, TerraTough. Yeah, see, I don't even, I may have seen the TerraTough stuff at Blade West. Favorite material I hate working with? G10. G10, and it's because it stinks. G10 it smells so bad. And even if you wear a full face respirator, you still get, it's so fine, you get it in your nose. Yeah, I hate, like, I don't really like the way I thought you were talking about this, Zach. I thought you were talking about this. I don't think it feels any different hand. But I don't like working with that, and I honestly don't like it as a handle material because there's so many things you have to do to it. Thing I hate working with, I'd say probably carbon. I was a little frustrated. So yeah, my daughter's like, so, all right, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.